We have made it to roughly the halfway point here in year number 4 of the San Francisco Giants franchise here on MLB The Show 24, and things continue to go quite well for our Giants as we currently sit at a record of 55-30, getting closer and closer to the All-Star break, the draft, and of course the trade deadline as well. Now, last episode did not start off very well because we started the month of June with a tough stretch. The Padres and Cubs are really good. Toronto is a strong team as well. And we opened up the month on an 8-game losing streak before playing a lot better over the last few weeks. Part of the reason why we have such a good record is because we have had a pretty easy schedule through the first 2 months of the year. And we had a rude awakening to start the month, but we definitely played a lot better. This is what the standings look like as a whole. In the National League, it's the same 5 teams who were really good last year. The Braves, the Cubs, us, the Padres, and the Dodgers. And then right now the question is who's going to get that third wild card, likely between the Phillies, the Reds, and the Brewers. The American League, per usual, is a lot worse than the National League. The usual suspects are up top with the Yankees, Astros, and the Minnesota Twins. Yes, you heard me correctly. I called them the Twins. I'm taking the W out of their name because in real life, the Detroit Tigers have snatched their chain, taken their spot in the wild card standings, and I'm really enjoying it. The National League is the 5 best teams in all of Major League Baseball, and I feel like that just shows where the NL and the AL have been, not just this year, but over the last few years. The high-end talent is all in the National League. In terms of guys to talk about offensively, we went over Jung-Hoo Lee in the last episode. We talked about his power surge and how he has an opportunity to break his career high in home runs at some point during the summer. And he's done it here in June, while also hitting .320 with a .394 on-base percentage, both of which are lower than his career totals over the last 4 years. But his OPS is nearing 1,000. His WAR is close to 5. His home runs per at-bat has more than cut in half, and it's more than been divided by 3 since his rookie season. He's currently 4th in batting WAR in the National League, and if we look at his overall body of work since the first episode of this series, he has nearly a WAR of like 25. He's legitimately one of the 5 most valuable players in all of baseball. Blake Sabol's potential has gone up to an A. I think I hinted at that in the last episode. He's been playing really well. And then Johnny Hackman, the rookie out of the University of Michigan. We called him up at the start of May. First month did not go well at all, but he has made some quick strides. Average is all the way up to 270. WAR is now basically back even. He's playing really well. He has earned more playing time, taking a lot of reps from Tommy Rogers, who was banged up early in the month of June. And once he came back from injury, we decided we're going to change his role because what he's doing is not cutting it right now. Last year, he hit for good contact, he hit for good power, and obviously he's really fast. But he has a lot of other weaknesses. His plate discipline continues to be a problem. His defense and his arm is not particularly good. And now this year, he's not even hitting for good contact. All he's got is power and speed, and that's not enough to be an everyday player in our lineup. He has done better with this platoon role. His WAR has gone up. When we made the switch, he had tied for the worst WAR in all of Major League Baseball. And since then, that has improved, which is a good sign. Hopefully that continues, and if it does, maybe he'll get more regular playing time again. Of course, as we know, the All-Star game is getting pretty close. It's only a few weeks away, and we're likely to have numerous representatives. Jung-Hoo Lee and Ian Happ in the outfield. It looks like Happ might start over Lee, which is a little bit odd, but at least they're both probably going to make it. J.P. Crawford and Blake Sabol are going to be close finishes. I feel like Sabol should get the nod over some of these other catchers. Higher average, more home runs, more RBIs, in less at-bats, and he's pretty much equal defensively to that of Henry Davis and JT Realmuto. So I feel like he should get one of those spots, but maybe I'm biased. Of course, the pitching. The big storyline here is Kyle Harrison, who broke his arm. He's going to be out likely until probably August or September. He wasn't playing as well as he did last year when he made the All-Star team, but he still had a good season. So Carson Whisenhunt keeps his spot in the rotation with Aaron Savale coming back from injury. Of course, we also got a start from Hayden Birdsong. His Major League debut did not go overly well. The starting pitching's been a little bit more inconsistent than last year, but the bullpen has improved. Last year, we had 2 starting pitchers make the All-Star team, nearly 3. This year, we're not going to have anybody. And Carson Whisenhunt, believe it or not, has the most votes. Not that any of our starters deserve it, but I feel like some of those guys are lower than they should be. And Yel De Los Santos will probably be an all-star with Schreiber and Romero getting some consideration. And then, of course, Camilo Doval will likely be an all-star as well for the 4th time in his Major League career. Before the All-Star break, we've got 4 more series, and they're all against good teams. The Dodgers, the Cardinals, the Braves, and the Twins. We're playing against 3 playoff teams. We're playing against 2 top 5 teams in all of baseball. And Minnesota's one of the best teams in the American League. We're going to bring Heliot Ramos back down to AAA, and we're going to call up Hunter Bishop. He's having a really good season in the minors. Played a little bit in the majors last year. Didn't really do anything, but I want to give him an opportunity. I feel like he's earned it. We're going to play this first game against the Dodgers. I know we played against the Dodgers in a recent episode, but I'm pretty sure this is the last time we had them on the schedule for the entirety of the regular season. So I figured it would be good to play against them one more time. Maybe we'll see them again in the playoffs. Who knows? But nonetheless, 2 of the best teams in the NL West, 2 of the best teams in all of baseball. The Dodgers currently sitting at 51-33. The Giants, meanwhile, at 55-30. I chose this game to play specifically because I wanted to pitch with Logan Webb. I don't think we've looked at him since opening day in Japan against the Diamondbacks, so I figured it'd be good to watch him in action again as we take a look at both lineups 1-9. And we take a look at Logan Webb, who hasn't been the consistent stalwart that we know him to be. He's had a lot of up and down starts this year. He's had some really good ones, but also some not so good ones. 5-4 record, 3.8 ERA, 1.34 WHIP. Both of those numbers certainly higher than we've seen usually in his career, and his day will not get off to a good start. Mookie Betts clobbers this ball, nearing the back rows and left, and the Dodgers are on the board immediately. A leadoff home run for Mookie Betts, his 23rd of the year. That one goes 442 feet. My goodness, that ball was clobbered. And the Los Angeles Dodgers are on the board early. They lead 1-0. That'll bring up Shohei Ohtani, who's been the best hitter in baseball this year, hitting .360, OPS nearly 1,200, and he's not done! Ohtani into right center. That one is gone. I think it made its way onto the concourse and maybe into the cove. A Shohei splash shot. His 29th home run of the year. That leads all of Major League Baseball. And the Dodgers lead 2-0 here in the top of the first. Not a good start to this game for Logan Webb or the Giants whatsoever. 2 away here for James Outman. 2-2. Flies this one into right center. Tommy Rogers is getting the start today. He will make the play. The plan with Rogers for now is to platoon him and have him mostly play against left-handed pitching. I think he's a little bit more comfortable against lefties, so I just want him to get that confidence back at the plate. And as I mentioned, it is a lefty, Kris Bubic, getting the start for the Dodgers. I think the first time we played these guys, it was Bubic on the mound. 5.47 ERA, 1.57 WHIP. Has had a not-so-good season. As he walks Johnny Hackman with 1 away. Yes, Hackman's hitting in the 2-hole. He's been playing really well. I wanted to reward him for his opportunities. And his reward for drawing a walk is that Ian Happ will get him out at second with a 5-4-3 double play. Lovely end of the first inning. Score remains 2-0. As we move top 2, Andy Pages leads it off for the Dodgers. It's been a rough year for him, 196 average. But he sends this one into left. Hackman cannot make the play. He probably shouldn't have gone for the dive. The thought process there is that Pages is going to get a double anyway. Maybe Johnny Hackman can jump like Michael Jordan? Now we know the answer is no. JT Realmuto up with a runner on second, nobody out. And he goes down on the high fastball. Webb looking to rebound in what has been a rough start for him so far. Trey Sweeney now goes down on the slider. And that'll bring us into the bottom of the second. Munetaka Murakami leads it off. Still hitting below 200 at 189. Looking to change that here as he sends this one into the opposite field. And that baby is gone. Solo home run for Murakami. And it's 2-1 as he goes deep for a 16th time this season. And the thing with Murakami is obviously the batting average is not where we want it to be. But he's still doing everything else at a high level. He's hitting for power. He's drawing walks. He's playing good enough defense. Obviously, we wish the batting average was 50 points higher. But otherwise, he has still been a positive player for us, despite the fact that he's hitting below 200. Patrick Bailey now sends it into the opposite field. Flips the bat. That one is gone. Nearly goes into the cove. Would have been the first right-handed batter ever to do so. Now, technically, Heliot Ramos has done that in real life since this season and series has started, but that hasn't happened here. So he would have been the first one had it had a little bit more carry. Nonetheless, a big swing for Bailey. Ties his career high with his 9th home run of the year. We're tied at 2. Liover Peguero keeps the offensive entourage rolling. Peguero getting the start at short today. The Giants mixing things up defensively, and he gets a double. So he's in scoring position with 2 away, and a nice opportunity for San Francisco to add to the lead. He would reach third off of a wild pitch, as that brings up Tommy Rogers, and he goes down looking on the fastball. A rare moment of Rogers trying to be disciplined, and it backfires. Big inning, though. Giants get 2 with a pair of homers for Murakami and Bailey. Into the third, Mookie Betts strikes out on the fastball. Logan Webb seems to be getting more comfortable after his slow start. Now facing off against Harold Ramirez, and he goes down on the sinker. Bottom 3, back to the top of the order. 1 away for Johnny Hackman. Walked in his first at-bat, has a full count, and walks again on the circle change. I think Hackman's approach at the plate has been so much better over this last month. He's drawing way more walks. He's been way more disciplined. And again, Ian Happ does not want him on base because he's going to ground into an inning-ending double play. Rough start for Ian Happ. 0 for 2, pair of double plays, and now we go to the top of the 4th. Mike Trout leads it off with a 111-mile-an-hour piss missile into center. Dodgers regain the lead. It's 3-2. Trout with his 24th of the year. Obviously, this Dodgers team is led by their star power, Betts, Ohtani, Trout. All 3 of them have homered already today. That'll bring up James Outman. He finds himself ahead 3-1. That one is hit up the middle. Peguero cannot make the play, and it goes for a base hit. So now it seems like Logan Webb is starting to struggle again. But this one is grounded over to second. Could be 2, and it is. 4-6-3 double play. As Outman was sliding to second, it looked like he hurt his finger. And he'll be taken out of the game, and it could be a serious injury. That might be a big loss for the Dodgers. He's obviously a very key player for them. JT Realmuto now lines this one into right center. He'll keep the inning alive. Single for Realmuto, and the Dodgers have another runner aboard here, as that'll bring up Trey Sweeney, one of the leaders of the Gritty Tigers fan club, grounds it to third. Happ, routine play to first, but he misfires! A throwing error on Ian Happ, and the inning stays alive. We'll see if the Dodgers can capitalize, look to score that run from second. Haggerty into left, base hit. Runners were already going. Hackman, the throw to the plate, is offline and not in time. Realmuto scores, it's 4-2. The error by Ian Happ directly leads to a run being scored. Mookie Betts now, 3-1, draws a walk, bases loaded. Logan Webb's command has just been a disaster all day. His pitches have been all over the place. When he's wanted to go around the strike zone, he's sending them down the middle. When he needs to throw strikes, they're outside of the zone. So he's going to be taken out of the game after just 3 1/3 innings. 4 runs allowed, only 3 earned, and we'll see if the Dodgers can get any more. He'll be replaced by Dylan Tate. We figured with his 98 pitching clutch rating, he'd be the guy to bring in here. Started the season off slowly, but he's performed very well as of recent. 2-2, bases juiced, 2 away for Ramirez. Got him looking! Inside sinker, Ramirez goes down. Dodgers leave him loaded. Tate's fired up, but they scored 2 with the homer by Trout, and Realmuto being driven in off the single by Haggerty directly because of an error on the previous at-bat. Bottom 4, Murakami draws a walk. Of course, he homered in his first at-bat of the game, reaches once again. Bubic's 3rd walk of the evening already. That'll bring up J.P. Crawford, another lefty-on-lefty matchup, and he sends a rocket into right. 113 off the bat, and the Giants are looking to quickly respond. 2 base runners to start the inning, and that'll bring up Orlando Arcia, not playing the field. He's the DH today. Up the middle, base hit into center. We're going to wave Murakami around. The throw to the plate is a good one, but not in time. I thought about leaving him at third, but then I realized we're not going to score with the bases loaded. We got to risk it for the biscuit, and it pays off. Both runners advance to scoring position as Peguero's ahead 3-1. Lines this one into center. That should be more than enough room to get the sacrifice as it's caught by Jose Ramos, who's into the game for Outman. The runner will look to score. Arcia out at third! The Dodgers turn to double play. The sacrifice run does count, though, and this game is tied at 4. A busy 4th inning, both teams getting 2 runs. We remain tied into the 5th. Tate remains in the game as he strikes out Ohtani on the sinker. That would have been ball 4 if he let that pitch go, but he was aggressive and it backfired. Trout homered in his last at-bat. This one is up the middle. Crawford blocks it. But Trout is safe at first for a single. So the Dodgers have a runner aboard here, one away for Ramos as that gets by Tate. What was that? Neither the second baseman or the shortstop went for the ball. Rogers' throw is a little bit offline. That should have been a double play. Crawford was covering second, so Peguero at short really deserves the blame. That should have been his ball. Now a grounder to second. Crawford bobbles it, gets the out at second. Runner is safe at first, and it's 5-4. That would have been a double play if J.P. Crawford fields that ball properly. This defense over the last 2 innings has fallen apart. The Ian Happ error directly leads to a run. The Peguero blunder leads to a base runner getting on. And now the bobble from Crawford, again, directly leads to another run, and it's 5-4. That'll bring up JT Realmuto, and this one is grounded past the diving glove of Murakami for a base hit into right. We've put so much investment on improving this defense over the last year, but this is hard to watch. The infield defense is losing us the game right now. Sweeney goes down looking on a full count circle change. I don't know what he was waiting for. That was a great pitch. Dodgers leave 2, but they regain the lead with some more pitiful defense by San Francisco. Bottom 5, Rogers swings and misses at the circle change. A healthy hack for out number 1. 2 away now for Hackman. He has been walked twice today, ahead 3-1. And he lines this one in to left. That one is caught. And so the Dodgers get out of the inning, remains 5-4, and that'll bring us into the 6th. Fernando Molina comes into the game. Normally he throws multiple innings at a time. He's probably only going to be used for 1 today. But we figured he was loose, so why not bring him in here? He'll face off against Sam Haggerty. Drove in a run in his last at-bat, and he goes down on the running fastball. 2 away now for Harold Ramirez. The 2-2 for Molina, looking to retire this side as the liner is caught by J.P. Crawford. 1-2-3 inning for Fernando, and that'll bring us into the bottom of the 6th. Pitching change for the Dodgers. Bubic's day is done. 5 innings, 4 earned. Not a great game, but not awful either. And he'll be replaced by the righty Landon Knack. Murakami with a swing and a drive into center field. No doubt about it, we're tied at 5. Murakami ignites that one into dead center. 17th home run of the year. His second of the ball game. 102 off the bat, 420 feet. Blaze it! And this game is knotted up. No shortage of power from both of these teams today. I think both teams have 3 home runs right now. Crawford lines it into right, his second hit of the game. Looking to make up for his bad defensive play in the last inning. That wasn't called for an error, but probably should have been. Bailey with 2 away, pops it into left. It'll be caught. Giants do tie the game, though, and that'll bring us into the 7th. The lefty, Genesis Cabrera, comes into the game. We specifically wanted to have Cabrera come in here because Ohtani's the first batter. Obviously, he's a little bit worse against lefties, and sure enough, he strikes out on the fastball. So Ohtani is retired. That'll bring up Trout, and he launches this ball into left. This ball looks like it'll stay fair, and it is gone. Mike Trout goes deep for a second time tonight. 25th of the year, and the Dodgers are back ahead 6-5. So both teams now have players who have gone yard multiple times today. 2 home runs for Murakami, 2 home runs for Trout. These 2 guys putting on a show as we go bottom 7. Kyler Rodriguez comes in off the bench, and he delivers into the left center gap. That goes for a double, and K-Rod opens up the inning in scoring position, replacing Liover Peguero as the pinch hitter. Tommy Rogers now hits this one high and deep and right. Pajes at the track, at the wall. It is caught. I thought that one might have had enough carry. Tommy Rogers just needs any kind of break he can get, and unfortunately it doesn't happen there. Runner does advance to third, however, and now the Dodgers are going to make a pitching change, bringing in A.J. Puck. I see why they wouldn't want the lefty against Rogers, but Jun-Hoo Lee has a 99 contact rating against lefties. He mashes left-handed pitching. And sure enough, he would be out. So all I said is kind of irrelevant. Johnny Hackman's also better against lefties, though. But he pops it up into the infield. Slams his bat in frustration as it's caught by Harold Ramirez. And the Giants aren't able to score anybody there. They had some chances, and we go into the 8th. James Karinchak out of the bullpen for San Francisco. 6.23 ERA. Low sample size, but he has struggled. Gets Trey Sweeney to go down on the fastball. I think Sweeney's been punched out 3 times now today. Back to the top of the order, Mookie Betts splits the third baseman and shortstop for a single into left. So Betts is aboard, and that'll bring us to the number 2 hitter, Harold Ramirez. 0 for 4 today, swinging out of his shoes on the knuckle curve. Karinchak gets out of the inning and remains 6-5. And the Giants have the door open. They're only down by 1. Let's see if they can continue this rally. Jorge Lopez comes out of the bullpen for Los Angeles. 3.9 ERA on the season for Lopez. He's been pretty solid. It's been a busy day for Murakami. 2 for 2 with a walk and 2 homers. Doesn't get one there. Times it well, hits it hard, but it's only a grounder to second. Sweeney makes the play for out number 1. 2 gone now for Crawford. Base hits in each of his last 2 at-bats, but he chases the low curveball, a filthy pitch by Lopez, and that'll bring us into the 9th. Out of the bullpen for the Giants is JoJo Romero. Again, with Shohei Ohtani due up, we wanted the lefty-on-lefty matchup. Romero has only led up 2 runs this year. He has been a rock star. And we'll see what Ohtani can do. 1-1. Crushes this ball into right center. Romero mislocates the circle change. And that ball is gone. It's showtime, folks. Shohei Ohtani goes deep for the 30th time this season. His second home run of the game. 450 feet. Triples Alley is undefeated against everyone except for Shohei Ohtani. The Dodgers add to the lead at 7-5. And LA continues to live and die by the long ball. Trout already has 2. He might not be done, though. Into right, off the wall. Lee cannot make the play. The ball just stops. And then Trout's able to make his way to third for a leadoff triple. Romero's only let up 2 runs all year. He's in danger of allowing 2 more. Jose Ramos draws a walk. Rough start for Romero. And now there's runners on the corners. JT Realmuto's up, lines it into center. That's going to be enough room to score Trout on the sacrifice as Rogers makes the catch. The Giants are not going to be able to bring the rally in quick enough. And it is 8-5. LA adds to the lead. Romero stays in the game against Trace Sweeney. Gets that one to third. Murakami deflects it. Happ picks it up. Throw to first is offline. Would not have been in time anyway. It's been a rough inning for JoJo Romero. Maybe the worst inning of his season. He'll be taken out of the game, replaced by, hopefully, the soon-to-be first-time All-Star Enyel de los Santos. The ERA has crept up a little bit, all the way to 1.86, but he has been so good this year, so reliable, and the Giants need him to get out of this inning against Haggerty up the middle, and de los Santos makes the play. Throw to first is in time, and so de los Santos gets out of the inning, but the Dodgers get 2, including a home run by Ohtani. J.P. Fierison is in for the save. He's had a great season for the Dodgers. 23 of 25 in save ops with an ERA at 1.46. Patrick Bailey will stay in the game. They're not going to sub in Blake Sabol for him. And he goes down looking on the fastball. 2 away for Rodriguez. Entered the game in the 7th when the pitch hit double. Down to his final strike. 1-2. Swing and a miss on the circle change, and that'll do it. The Dodgers take the first of 3 here at Oracle Park, winning this game by the score of 8-5. The story in this one for the Dodgers was their offense, particularly the star power. Mookie Betts, Mike Trout, Shohei Ohtani. Those guys dominated, and we couldn't stop them. Usually baseball is a team sport, and it's not always about the superstars. Today it was. Mookie Betts, 2 hits and a homer. Shohei Ohtani, 2 hits, homered twice. Mike Trout, 4 hits, homered twice, and had a triple. And Kyle Tucker didn't even play. I feel like whenever we play against the Dodgers, Kyle Tucker doesn't play. I don't know why that is. Rough day for the offense. Murakami homered twice. Bailey went deep, and that's really about it. Logan Webb did not have a great start. The bullpen was not good, and the defense was horrific in the infield. Ian Happ, Liover Peguero, and J.P. Crawford looked like they had blindfolds on at times throughout this game. So with that, we lose our lead in the division. The Padres are now up by half a game. And we'll simulate the rest of the series against the Dodgers along with our final homestand before the All-Star break against St. Louis. We would end up splitting the last 2 games against the Dodgers, so we do lose the series, but at least we didn't get swept. And that'll bring us into this first game against the Cardinals. We're up 8-1. Another multi-home run game for Munetaka Murakami. 3 for 3, 2 long balls, looking to add a third. And since we're only in the bottom of the 7th inning, there is theoretically a chance he could get an at-bat after this one. Sonny Gray out of the bullpen, now a reliever for the Cardinals. and he gets a hanging pitch. That was the one. 80 miles an hour down the middle, but he tops it, and it's caught in the outfield. Luckily, the Giants would still win the game, though, taking it by the final score of 9-1 as Tommy Rogers drives in another run off of a sacrifice. So a good win here to start this series against St. Louis as we look to bounce back after losing the original series against Atlanta. Rough day pitching-wise for the Cardinals. We really hit the ball well. Murakami led the way. Him and Rogers drove in 7 of our 9 runs. Mason Miller, meanwhile, 8 innings of 1-run ball. And then the very next game, Ian Happ has gone deep twice looking for a third. This time we're up 8-0 as he hits this ball hard on the ground over to second. Play is made. Throw to first is in time. So Ian Happ will not get the 3-home run game, but the team will get the win. No score change. We end up taking this one 8-0 and have outscored the Cardinals 17-1 through the first 2 games of the series. Dominant offense, dominant pitching against a solid St. Louis team who's on the outside looking in, but they are no slouch in the NL. Shane Bieber has been one of the best pitchers in Major League Baseball, and he got rocked. Happ, of course, leads the way. Tristan McKenzie with a complete game shutout. He's had a rough year, but that's a big outing. Here in this next game, it's a little bit closer. 1-0, bottom 9, 2 away. Walker up the middle with a base hit. And for just the second time all year, Camilo Doval has blown a save, letting in the run, and the Cardinals tie it up. Victor Scott now looking to put St. Louis ahead. He is unsuccessful, lines it into right, caught by Bishop. But the Cardinals do what pretty much nobody else has been able to do, and that's score off of Camilo Doval and keep the game alive. In the bottom half of the 9th, Jun-Hoo Lee was brought in as a pinch hitter. Walk-off dinger to win it 3-1 and complete the sweep. The Cardinals only scored 2 runs through the 3 games here. Their offense just did not have a good weekend whatsoever. This time it was Logan Webb who had a great start. He ended up throwing 7 scoreless. Mackenzie Gore also with a good game for St. Louis. Our offense didn't play well today. 2 hits for Happ, 2 hits for Hunter Bishop. The rest of the team only combined for 4 themselves. But of course the home run there by Jun-Hoo Lee at the end coming off the bench to replace Bishop, who had a good game prior. So we end up getting the sweep. We are now 59-32 with 6 games before the All-Star break, all on the road against the Braves and then the Minnesota Twins. Or I guess I should call them the TS, because that way win would be removed, because that team does not do a lot of winning this time of year. J.P. Crawford against Atlanta suffers a shoulder injury, so he'll be out through the All-Star break. But we do win the first 2 games against the Braves. Our pitching has been dominant as of recent. Aaron Savale with a complete game shutout. That's nice to see. But as for Crawford, obviously it's not ideal having him on the injured list. And we're going to bring up Luis Toribio to replace him. He's played in bits and pieces of 3 big league seasons, hasn't really performed, but he's having a good year in the minors. His contact against lefties has gone up by 9 this year. And maybe this is the opportunity that Toribio finally plays really well. At 61-32, we're going for the sweep against Atlanta. We're still not in first place of this division, though. San Diego is not letting go. We're tied with the Padres, but we've been playing really well. Winners of 5 in a row, going for a 2nd consecutive sweep here in Atlanta. The Braves, of course, having a great season themselves, 56-36. And, of course, it's a rematch from the postseason last year. The NLCS, which of course Atlanta ultimately ended up winning in 5 games. We're still looking for revenge. We've already won the series, and now we are looking to bring out the brooms. Let's take a look at both lineups, 1-9. The Giants mixing it up a little bit. Hunter Bishop getting the start. He's played well so far. Marco Luciano, of course, now on the Braves. These 2 teams essentially swapped shortstops in the offseason, with Arcia coming here. Let's take a look at Michael King on the bump for Atlanta. He has had a tremendous year. 1.9 ERA in 18 starts, 1.13 whip, 100 strikeouts. He has been really good, one of the best pitchers in the NL. It's going to be a challenge for our offense, who's played well as of recent. Starting things off with Jun-Hoo Lee, rips this one into the gap. There's only a few certainties in life. One of them is opposite field base hits for this guy coming off his walk-off home run in the series against St. Louis. Blake Sabol hitting in the 2 spot. We're trying to find where we want to keep Sabol. Obviously, he's played well and has earned opportunities higher in the order, but he goes down on the changeup. That'll bring up Ian Happ, who's been playing well so far in the month of July. And he puts this one on the ground. He must be the king of double plays. He's already gotten 3 in the 1+ games that we've played today. As we go to the bottom of the first, take a look at Mason Miller on the bump for the Giants. Obviously had that great month of April. Certainly has come back down to earth after that. He has still had a solid season. But I thought it could have been an all-star caliber season after his first month. Unfortunately, that has not been the case. But he still has been one of the better starting pitchers for this team. McKinstry goes down on the cutter. Of course, Zach McKinstry played a big role for this team in the postseason last year. Still getting regular reps in the infield. Ozzie Albies has the day off, not in the lineup for Atlanta. As we go into the second, the former Brave, Orlando Arcia, with a single into right center. Arcia has been on a cold streak, and he quietly really has not had a good season, hitting .230, not hitting for power. OPS is only a little bit above 600, but it's good to see him make a play there. Hackman now grounds it to third. Austin Riley makes the play. Third at first is in time. And this game remains scoreless as we go into the bottom of the second inning. And it is Riley who's up with 1 away. He had some highlight moments in the NLCS last year with these two teams facing off against each other. But he goes down on the 4-seam fastball. Nice pitch by Mason Miller. His second punch out of the game. Jared Kelenic now up for Atlanta, hitting an even .250 this year, but he's behind 1-2. And he goes down on the slider. 6 up, 6 down for Miller. He's off to a hot start. And we are scoreless entering the third. We'll see if both of these pitchers can continue their strong openings to this game. Zach DeZenzo up with 1 away. He's gotten off to a solid start here in July, but the offensive numbers certainly lacking. We know that's not really his game. And he goes down on the slurve. A nice pitch by Michael King. That'll bring us back to the top of the order. Full count here for Jung-Hoo Lee, base hit in his last at-bat, and he goes down on the slurve. That pitch is filthy. The amount of movement that Michael King has with this slurve is unfair. And that'll bring us into the bottom of the third. An old friend, Marco Luciano, up for Atlanta, traded to the Braves in the offseason after we signed Orlando Arcia, and he hits this one well into center, goes to the warning track, but Jung-Hoo Lee makes the play. Luciano's hitting around 160 this year. He's only played 10 big league games, so it is a small sample size, but his lack of development is still noted. Tyler Stevenson chases the low circle change. That pitch well out of the strike zone, and that'll bring up Jose Azocar here at the bottom. He's behind 1-2. Miller looking for a perfect 3 innings to start this one as it's a grounded at first. Murakami makes the play. 9 up, 9 down. A perfect 3 innings to open up the game for Mason Miller. And that'll bring us into the fourth. Ian Happ up with 1 away. There's nobody on first, so he can't ground into a double play. And sure enough, he gets a piece of this one into left center field, and this one will one-hop off the top of the wall. Happ strolls into second safely with a double, and the Giants get a runner in scoring position. We'll see if they can score first. Munetaka Murakami behind in the count 1-2 with a runner on second base, and he launches it! Straight away center. Another lawn ball for Murakami, and the Giants lead it 2-0. Munetaka Murakami has had his best stretch maybe ever with San Francisco over the last 3 weeks or so. Hitting for incredible power. That one goes .477 for his 22nd home run of the year. The average has gone all the way up to around .210. I know the bar is low, but that's the highest it's been quite literally all year. And so the Giants are ahead 2-0 here in the fourth with an absolute missile off the bat of Munetaka Murakami. Another look at that beauty again. 477 feet, one of the longest home runs that you will see this year. So San Francisco scores first, looking to add more. Orlando Arcia with a base hit in his last at-bat. This time he goes down looking on the circle change. I think he thought that pitch was going to be a little bit outside. Ultimately isn't. Sixth punch out of the game for Michael King. No shortage of strikeouts for him early, looking for another one. But Kyler Rodriguez has other plans. It's down the line and fair into the opposite field. Thought about to, wisely retreats to first. But now K-Rod is aboard with 2 away, and that'll bring up the rookie Johnny Hackman, continuing to play quite well over the last month or so. Hits this one into center. Is it going to drop? It does not. But a good inning for the Giants as they score first with a 2-run blast by by Munetaka Murakami, and that'll bring us into the bottom of the fourth. We'll see if Mason Miller is continuing his excellent start. No base runners at all for Atlanta up to this point. Zach McKinstry looking to change that with one away. And boy, will he! Crushes it into right center, and the Braves are on the board. They get one right back, and it's 2-1. So Atlanta gets a home run of their own. McKinstry, his 7th of the year, and that one goes 462. Who juiced these baseballs? My goodness. The 2 home runs so far, combining well over 900 feet. And so Atlanta's on the board. Both offenses starting to look better, of course. Ronald Acuna now up, and he launches it into left. And with a matter of a couple of swings, this game is tied at 2. Ronald Acuna, the former National League MVP, with a blast for the Braves. This one only 419 for his 14th of the year. So the Giants get 2 in the top half of the inning. The Braves get 2 right back. And the perfect start for Mason Miller is completely down the toilet. Austin Riley now with 2 away, grounds it to second. Happ will look to make the play. A big inning for both offenses. Giants get 2, Braves get 2 right back, with back-to-back home runs from McKinstry and Acuna. And we move into the 5th. Hunter Bishop opens things up with a walk, and so he is aboard with nobody out, getting a speedy runner on base, and that'll take Michael King out of the game. Certainly not one of his better starts of the year, considering how good he's been. And he'll be replaced by John Means, who, of course, gave the Braves some big starts last year in the postseason, specifically Game 7 of the World Series, which they won. What a play here at second to get Jun-Hoo Lee out. Unable to turn 2, but a great play there to get the one out at first. And now that'll bring up Blake Sabol, lefty-on-lefty crime. Sabol sends it into the gap, and that's going to drop for a hit. Runner looks to score. There will be no relay throw. An RBI single for Mr. Clutch. And the Giants are right back ahead as it is now 3-2. That'll bring up Ian Happ, swinging from the right side of the plate now. He finds himself with a full count, base hit, and scored his last time up, and he gets another one into center. Sabol's headed for third, ballsy, and he is safe. The gutsy base running pays off for the Giants, and they've got 2 on, 2 away for Murakami, who sent one into the deep center field seats back in the previous inning. This time not so lucky. He thought that pitch was going to be inside, not expecting the slider. San Francisco regains the lead, though, with the single by Sabol, but it does feel like they could have gotten more there, leaving 2 runners on the corners. Bottom 5, Kelenic gets plunked, hit his kneecap. Did Dan Campbell talk to Mason Miller or something? What's going on here? That'll bring up Marco Luciano now, and this one is hit well into center for a base hit. Runner looks to make it to third. He is safe. The issue with Luciano is never how hard he could hit the ball or even his contact. Of course, in Season 2 and over 100 games, he hit .250. It was just a matter of consistency and the little things, particularly his poor defense. Stevenson draws a walk, bases loaded, and Mason Miller is going to be yanked out of the game. He started this one with 3 perfect innings, and this one has fallen out of wraps quick. Allows 2 home runs in the 4th, lets the first 3 runners on here in the 5th, and he will be yanked and replaced by Mr. High Leverage, Dylan Tate, with his 98 pitching clutch. And we're going to need him to pitch clutch with the bases loaded and nobody out. Let's give the Braves a taste of our own medicine. Normally, it's the other way around here with the bases loaded. Jose Azocar has other plans. This one is sent into the right center gap. That one's going to drop. It hits off the wall. 1 run scores, 2 scores. Braves take the lead, and they will clear the bases. A 3-run double for Jose Azocar, and it's 5-3 Atlanta. All 3 of those earned runs going against Mason Miller. Back to the top of the order, Christian Arroyo singles into right. Azocar looks to score. The throw from Hackman is a bullet, but it's just a little bit offline, and the Braves now lead 6-3. That earned run will go against Dylan Tate. 1 gone now for Ronald Acuna. Puts it on the ground. Should be a double play. DeZenzo to Happ to Murakami. 5-4-3, but not before the Braves drive in 4. Headlined by an early 3-run double for Jose Azocar, who would eventually score on the following at bat. So now the Giants have some damage control to do as Rodriguez lines it to third off of Riley's glove. Backhanded throw in time. What a play by Austin Riley. My goodness. We're going to challenge this. I think in real time he was clearly out, but if there's a play that close, and we're probably not going to have another opportunity to use the challenge today, I figure, well, we might as well. It was close enough to warrant another look. And as you can see, yeah, he's out. So this play will stand. An impressive play at third by Austin Riley. And now there's 2 away for Johnny Hackman, who's really gotten comfortable hitting lefties. That was a hard pitch to hit, a sweeping curve with a lot of movement. John Means throws a great breaking ball. That pitch was not in the strike zone. Still ends up a base hit for the rookie, who is aboard now, and that'll bring up the lefty bat, Hunter Bishop, who's behind 1-2. Walked his last time up, checked his swing. Did not look like he went around, but the umpire says he did for strike 3, and it remains 6-3 as Infield de los Santos comes out of the bullpen for the Giants. He has had a rough go with it really since like the middle of June. Still having a fantastic season, but definitely not as good as he was earlier in the year. His ERA has ballooned up to 2.45. Olsen goes down on the fastball. Matt Olsen, of course, with 2 home runs in the elimination NLCS game last year to basically win the series for Atlanta. Austin Riley strikes out as well. De Los Santos looking a lot more like his April and May self rather than the guy we've gotten since the start of June. Kelenic, though, lines it into left, and the Braves do get a base hit here with 2 away and another opportunity to add to their lead. It feels like they've got all the momentum right now. Their offense only had 3 runs in the first 2 games combined. So far, they've got 6 and not even 6 innings. Luciano pops it up into center. Jung-Hoo Lee is under it. He will make the play. And so Infield de los Santos gets through the inning pretty easily, only letting up the 1 base runner as it remains 6-3 and we move into the 7th. So the Braves are going to bring Pierce Johnson out of the bullpen. The righty's had a solid season, 3.24 ERA and around 16 2/3 innings of work. We'll see if he's able to keep the lead at 3 for the Braves. Tommy Rogers coming in off the bench, replacing Zach DeZenzo as a pinch hitter. He's behind 1-2. Grounds this one to short. Throw to first is way offline. The shortstop knew he had to throw it quick. That's Luciano, who is called for the error. Marco Luciano was a horrible defender with us last year, so this is not an unfamiliar sight. And with Rogers on base, you best believe he is looking to run, and the error from Luciano directly leads to the fastest man in baseball finding himself in scoring position. Mr. Clutch will look to take advantage. Say ball into left. Kelenic cannot make the grab. Tommy Rogers patiently waiting at second. He knows that that ball drops. He is scoring. No need for a relay throw from Marco Luciano. If he did throw it, it probably would have gone behind the backstop. And with that, it is a 2-run game with an RBI double for Sable. Now 6-4, and the Braves are going to make a pitching change. It's Penn Murphy into the game. And if you remember last year, Murphy won the reliever of the year. He was the one guy in the NL who was better than Camilo Doval. He, of course, was their closer during the NLCS, and he dominated our lineup. But he hasn't had the same season this year, moving to a setup role. And Munetaka Murakami is going to drive in the runner who advanced over to third. And it is now 6-5. An impressive inning here for San Francisco. The offense making some waves, and the lead is within 1. That'll bring up Orlando Arcia. This one is hit well into left center, and this one will drop in front of the wall. Now, Munetaka Murakami really was not hustling. With 2 outs, he should have been going as fast as he could. I think he could have scored if he hustled a little bit more, but he has to be held up at third. This game could have been tied up had he been going a little bit faster. And now the Giants are going to need a big hit from Kyler Rodriguez. 1-1. Big swing and a miss on the slurve. He wanted that pitch. Swings a little bit too early, though. Rodriguez hitting around 260. The power, usually the name of his game, hasn't really been there this year. Only 4 homers. Gets another slurve. Hits it into the opposite field pretty well. But it is caught by Jared Kelenic. I feel like that inning could have gone better. Yes, we got 2. Yes, the lead is within 1. But this game should be tied. Bottom 7, John Schreiber comes out of the pen for the Giants. Of course, he's had a really good year. 10-2 amongst the National League leaders in wins, despite being a reliever, with a 2.29 ERA. Jose Azocar in his last at-bat drove in 3. This time he's going to drive himself back to the bench. Hopefully drive a little bit better than former Brave Marcelo Zuna. Here's Arroyo now into center. At the track, at the wall, it is caught. What a catch by Jung-Hoo Lee, running backwards into the wall. even with Tommy Rogers now in the game, we're actually going to put Rogers at left. That keeps Lee in center. I don't know if Rogers would have made that play. He would have gotten to the ball with no problem, but I don't know if he could have made that catch. Into the 8th, Marlins franchise legend Reynaldo Lopez comes into the game. 8 2/3 innings this year, 4.15 ERA. Bottom of the order due up for San Francisco. That starts with Johnny Hackman, 1 for 3. Hitting his last at bat. I think the one thing Hackman has really struggled with is super fast pitches. He has not been able to touch fastballs of 100. Luis Toribio off the bench. His first at bat of the season ends with a base hit. Toribio entered the game in the last inning as a defensive substitution. Stays up offensively and delivers. 2 away now for Jun-Hoo Lee. Count is even. 2-2. Checks his swing on a slider in the dirt near his feet. Lopez gets out of the inning. Lead stays at 1, and we go bottom 8. The lefty, Jojo Romero, comes out of the bullpen for San Francisco. He, of course, had a brilliant start to the year, but has slowed down. Strikes out McKinstry. We wanted him here knowing that he's facing off against a few lefties, and Ronald Acuna kind of struggles against lefties, at least compared to what he does against righties. And sure enough, he will strike out as well. We'll see if Romero can retire or strike out the side. Full count for Matt Olson, and he's got other plans. Sends this one into right. That one off the bat in a hurry. 111 exit velo, and it goes into the seats to make it 7-5. His 15th home run of the year. Olson really hasn't looked like himself. OPS only around 800, which is pretty low for his standards. But a big hit there to make it a 2-run lead, giving the Braves a lot more security going into the 9th as Riley strikes out. You're definitely going to feel a lot better being up by 2 rather than being up by 1 here. And now it's closing time. The man who replaced Penn Murphy is the closer. It's the former LA Dodger, Evan Phillips, who's had a really solid season this year for the Braves. 26 of 30 in save ops. Of course, Camilo Duvall with 30 saves. That leads the NL. ERA at 2.25 for Phillips, and we'll start with the 2-3-4 hitters. Blake Sabol opening things up quick. Into left center field. It goes off the wall. And Sabol opens up this inning with a double, and the tying run will be up with nobody out. A big start to the inning for Sabol. That, my friends, is how you start a rally. 13th double of the year, 2nd of the game. And that'll bring up Ian Happ. Base hits in each of his last 2 at-bats. Happ hits this one high and deep into center. Azokar at the track, at the wall. It is gone! A 2-run homer for Ian Happ, and this game is tied at 7. The likely all-star starter delivers his 21st of the year. As that ball went off the bat, I really didn't think it had enough distance. I knew it was going to be close, but I didn't think that had enough to go over the fence. Luckily for the Giants, it does. One of their biggest home runs of the season. And Evan Phillips quickly blows the save, and this game is tied up. So Ian Happ delivers, and again, let's look how close this one was. Azokar had a chance to make a play on the ball, but it just has enough to scrape over and tie the game. 1 away here for Orlando Arcia. He's had a good game, 2 for 4. Looking to add another hit, lines it into left, and that one will drop in front of Kelenic. And the go-ahead run is now on base. It's been a rough one for Phillips. 4 batters, 3 hitters. He will be yanked out of the game for Joe Jimenez. We're also going to take Arcia out of the game. We only have 2 players left on the bench, one of which is Liover Peguero. He's a lot faster than Arcia, so he's going to come in as the potential winning run. That'll bring up Kyler Rodriguez ahead 3-1, looking for the right pitch, and he gets it. Into the left center gap. That should score. Peguero waved around third, heading home, and there will be no throw from Luciano. The Giants lead 8-7. Kyler Rodriguez comes up big, and the 20-year-old has San Francisco ahead. 2 gone now for Luis Toribio. 1-1. This one gets over to short. Luciano diving play will not make the throw. And Luis Toribio starts his big league season 2 for 2. Runners on the corners, 2 away. Giants have an opportunity to blow this game open. And Tommy Rogers will put his foot down and slam the door. Launches it into left. A 3-run shot for Tommy. His 12th of the year. And it is an 11-7 lead The Giants have scored 6 runs here in the 9th, his 12th home run of the season. That is the swing we have been waiting for from Tommy Rogers. It just hasn't been there offensively. He has not been the same hitter. Hit around 280 last year. This year barely hitting above 220. But that swing right there was really one of the best I've ever seen him take. Gets a great pitch hanging up and away, and he capitalizes and crushes it into the bullpen. The Braves are going to use their third different pitcher of the inning. Shawn Armstrong is in. He is the last remaining reliever in the Braves bullpen. So they've got to get out of this inning pronto. Jung-Hoo Lee into center. That one goes for a base hit, and the Giants will officially have batted around. A big hit for Lee, keeping the inning going. And that'll bring up Blake Sabol, who started the inning with the big double. 1-2, that one is well outside. And look who's warming up in the bullpen. Things have gotten so dire that the Braves are warming up Spencer Strider. They need to hope and pray that our offense doesn't continue to mash the cover off the ball, because otherwise that could be a pretty big problem. 2-2 for Sabol. Goes off of Armstrong's arm. Throw to first is offline. A throwing error that could have ended the inning. And now Armstrong's going to have to face at least one more batter. It's Ian Happ who homered to tie the game. And he strikes again. Happ goes deep for a second time in the inning. A 116-mile-an-hour liner into right, his 22nd of the year. And again, his second of the game and of the inning. Happ has driven in 5 runs here in this inning alone. The Giants as a team have scored 9, and it is 14-7. A 9-run inning for San Francisco. The Braves have used 3 relievers. They might have to go to Spencer Strider if the offense continues to clobber the ball. This is unbelievable. Are the Braves seriously going to pull Shawn Armstrong? I mean, all of these relievers in this inning have looked completely abysmal. San Francisco is up by 7. We were warming up Camilo Doval earlier in the inning. We thought we would need him. We're obviously not going to, as Murakami gets trigger happy, swinging at a pitch he shouldn't have. Munetaka Murakami was out twice in that inning. The rest of the team goes 9 for 10, scoring 9. 3 home runs, 2 for Ian Happ. He drives in 5. Tommy Rogers goes yard as well with a 3-run shot. We're up by 7. We have 20 hits in this game. And what's been a close matchup the entire way should now be a breeze to finish. Genesis Cabrera will throw the 9th. The lefty looks to get out of the game. But hey, if we can score 9, you never know. Jared Kelenic leads off the inning with a walk. Is it time to get your rally caps on, kids? Luciano strikes out on the curveball. That'll bring us to the catcher, Tyler Stevenson. This one on the ground should do it. Toribio to Happ to Murakami. 5-4-3 double play, and the Giants win an interesting game. 14-7, a football score. This is an Iowa maybe too many points for Iowa, but you get what I'm saying. I guess the Niners just beat the Falcons? Is that how this works? It was a weird game because we were trailing for most of it before scoring 9 runs in the top of the 9th. The offense hit the ball well the entire game. We finished with 20 hits. 2 for Lee. 3 for Sabol, drove in 2. 4 for Happ, drove in 5 with 2 home runs in the 9th. Murakami went deep. Tommy Rogers went deep. Rodriguez had a good game. The pitching was subpar. Mason Miller started off really well. Then he slowed down quick. Bullpen did a pretty good job, though, to recover. As for Atlanta, their offense played well. Only 7 hits, but they got 7 runs. Michael King was okay. The bullpen with Pierce Johnson led up 2 unearned runs. And then obviously the 9th inning, they completely collapsed. Phillips led up 3. Jimenez led up 3. Armstrong led up 3 unearned runs, but it was because of his own error. And now we'll simulate the start of the series against the T's. We lose the first 2 games. I guess our 9-run 9th inning exhausted the offense to where we only scored 1 run in each of the first 2 games. Tristan McKenzie struggled in this initial matchup with Dustin May nearly going the entire way. That was not supposed to rhyme, but it did. Second game, we lost 2-1. Murakami goes yard once again. Logan Webb takes the loss, pitched a really good game, though, but was outdueled by Joe Ryan. So with that, we have one more game before the All-Star break, and of course the MLB draft is on the horizon. We're just behind the Padres in the standings. And as we go into the draft, we haven't talked about any of these prospects yet, but we had the 32nd overall pick. That's thanks to Munetaka Murakami winning the Rookie of the Year. So we have a first rounder along with a second one at the end. It's an interesting class, some fun players here that I'm excited to dive into in the draft episode with our extra pick in the first round. So a real opportunity to add 2 impact players to the farm system, again with 2 selections in the top 32. And that'll be in the next episode. Hope everyone enjoyed. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Peace out.